topic. May is Maternal Mental Health Month. Medical experts say postpartum depression doesn't just happen to moms. Dads can also experience it after a child is born. Dr. Lindsay Moore with Indianapolis Moms joins us now to talk about this topic and how parents can navigate their shifting realities after birth. So you recently spoke with an expert about all of this. For starters, talk to me, what is maternal mental health and why are we raising awareness around it now?
It is really maternal mental health deals with the fact that as soon as you're postpartum, I think you're forever postpartum. But in that first year, there are so many challenges and a lot of things happen, and there's a lot of moods that can come up and previous diagnoses that can get worse with depression, anxiety, even bipolar and obsessive compulsive. But there's also sometimes new problems that you didn't see coming. And moms often worry that they are a bad mom. It's often not diagnosed, and we just say, oh, they're just tired, and babies are hard. And so Maternal Mental Health Month, Awareness Month, is about raising the knowledge, because we can't help you unless we know what's happening.
And speaking of raising that knowledge, let's talk about what happens to both parents, because sometimes you hear postpartum depression only associated with moms. There's some stats around how it can affect both of the parents.
Absolutely. So up to 1 in 7 moms is sort of the quoted statistic. That may be higher because we don't always catch it. And up to 1 in 10 dads actually also experience significant postpartum depression. If their partner is dealing with mental health issues, they are even higher chance. So it just sort of goes in cycles like that. Absolutely.
What signs should you be looking for in new moms, new parents, when trying to figure out if this is postpartum depression, or if parents are tired, or if it's just life? Like, what are the signs we should be looking out for?
It's not always as easy as you think. So we think of depression as, the person either is eating too much or too little suddenly, they're sleeping well or poorly, they are crying and depressed and feel guilty and isolate themselves. That can happen. But it's also much more common for it to present with worrying, constant fears and anxiety, maybe intrusive thoughts, which mean oftentimes those are thoughts that just pop in your head and you can't make them go away. Like, what if I dropped the baby and they died? What if this happened? What if that happened? And you just are like, why is that in my brain? That's scary. Or being angry or irritable. Those are just some of the symptoms. And in dads, especially the more angry, irritability, those things can pop up. So when in doubt, ask. I have had, I work in postpartum care with parents, and I've had dads reach out and say, I don't know if mom's okay or not, but she said this last night. And I'm like, let me just touch base. We don't have to call you out for having said that, but I'll just check in. And we can oftentimes get it improving and supported before it gets worse.
And, live TV goes by so fast, but there are several resources. And so we're going to make sure that we include those resources on wishtv.com. But quickly, can you just tell a few parents or people what they should look out for and some of the resources that they should use?
The main one, I would say, if you remember anything at all, is called Postpartum Support International. And they have a website that if you just Google them, you'll find it. And they will have both general resources, a free hotline you can call for questions, help, whatever you need. And they'll have a guide and local guides for resources in your area. So you can find a lot of information there.
Okay, perfect. We will make sure to include that link in this interview on wishtv.com. As always, Dr. Moore, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.